Now I'm going to talk of our value system. That's where I'm headed. And I know why I use this example. I was talking with somebody somewhere, and he said the president is best armed to deal with the petroleum sector. And I asked why, and he said because he was Minister of Petroleum. And I wanted to joke about something. So you know what I did? I said, I was Minister of Petroleum when? He said, this problem with you younger guys, you don't read your history, you don't, but he didn't know I was taking a home. You don't read your history. I said, so it was at what age? And he was like, at about, he was not yet 40. I said, so in the entire 200 million in Nigeria, we don't have a 40-year-old that understands the oil sector, that the president has to duplicate his functions to add in minister.
Whereas he had the capability when he was younger than 40 to run that same oil industry.
Besides, if he performed that function well under President Obasanjo when he had it at that point, the question is, what were the antecedents that he relied upon prior to that point for him to have served in that responsibility as well as he did? Because before that point, he was a serving military officer, and all his appointments up to that stage, before that point, he was the governor of Northeastern State at that point, and that was the last appointment he had before becoming Minister of Petroleum. What qualifications at all did he have in understanding either petroleum policy or, the international intrigues involved in an industry of that nature, especially an industry as its infancy, and setting the bedrock for that? But the major policy changes that are required, the competence that you need in terms of driving the proper policy for the petroleum sector in Nigeria, he's not equipped with the technical knowledge required for him to run that responsibility. Because consider this, the Nigerian economy in itself, not even the oil sector alone, it's still constructed in a way that the white man made it in terms of the colonial economy, which is calculated to take raw materials out of this country through our ports to export it and then import finished products that come in from Europe and the rest of the world through our ports.
Which I call our nomadic economy.
Exactly, because till today, the biggest
exclusive, not productive.
Yeah, exactly. The investments of the colonialists is still the only thing you see. We have a rail line from Guru in northeastern Nigeria and the other one on the western front to Kauranamoda and present-day Kebbi states, and converging somewhere around Zubira, I think, and going southwards towards the ports in Lagos. So the colonialists came, they built the economy on the basis of the needs of the British Empire, basically to take raw materials from here and also get us to stop farming food crops, to start farming cash crops to support British industry, which is what we did. And with the ports that we built for them, and the funny thing about it, which is really sad, is that regardless of the fact that they needed us to buy the finished products that are coming from Europe, they didn't even bother to help us to build the distribution infrastructure for the imported goods to come from the ports for us to go. That's why we don't have a proper road network that is even supposed to convey those goods that we're importing from the ports to get everywhere else in the country. Even that in itself. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
even that in itself, you don't have that. And the congestion and everything you have in Lagos. And the same thing with the petroleum industry as well. Development for gas infrastructure, for example, in colder countries, is because of the need for space heating, and reticulation within the cities was financed because of that need. You could have mimicked the same reality in Nigeria as well, because we all need air conditioning. I think where we're sitting, all of us were sweating a little bit and everything, because you need space cooling. And there is no reason why development of gas infrastructure for domestic utilization in the country shouldn't have been done on the basis of this need. There is a technology which the Chinese have started developing, but because they don't have a need for it to that extent, nobody has kind of pushed the envelope for that done. It's very easy for Nigeria to have financed the development of technology that would be cheap for us to use gas for space cooling, which would have served everything. And then we use the gas for petrochemical industry in this country to produce fertilizer and all these things. This government has been able to make some changes in importing the chemicals fertilizer from Morocco. So Nigeria is more or less, we are feeding the families of Moroccan oil industry because of the production of the chemicals that we're using for fertilizer here. Meanwhile, we have
after years of feeding Russia.
Exactly, and we have so much gas that all we need is to use the gas as a feedstock in the petroleum industry to produce it. And we have power problems. And the solution for cheaper burning, cheaper, cleaner energy is using combined cycle gas turbines, which is being done. We have more gas and oil. But so far, the entire investments we're making in the petroleum industry is geared towards earning foreign exchange from selling hydrocarbons to the Western world, either for their industries, to power their industries, or as feedstock for petrochemicals. But we haven't seen that increased utilization of petroleum in Nigeria, in our own economy, is far more important and more beneficial for our citizens, for powering our industry, and also for a feedstock for petrochemicals and all that. And the reports that we already have, the federal government, it cost them about $10 million sometime in 1997 or 98, towards the end of the Abacha regime. In a report for gas utilization, it's an 800-page report. I wrote my thesis as a master's thesis in 2000 on increased domestic gas utilization in the country. 20 years later, nothing has been done on the policy side of this that has shown any movement that is significant. The problems that we're trying to deal with and address have only compounded over that period of time without any movement. So if anybody is speaking to me about experience in terms of either on the regulatory side or on the practitioner side, apart from maybe the business people, I wouldn't listen to anybody.
KALOMA, I'd like to stop you there briefly.
Yeah.
While we'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we need to start talking about the solutions. And like I said earlier on in the course of the show, I'm sure between both of you, we should be able to start coming up with solutions to Nigeria's problems. We'll be right back shortly after this.